And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're going to be taking a look at a game called Lands Unknown, which if you look at the box actually makes it look like I'm selling you either a large chocolate bar for a school fundraiser, or I'm from your bank showing you your box of checks. I guess this is supposed to be a desert. It's not a very attractive looking game. But are the cards inside it more attractive? Well, the answer is yes, but of course we're not so concerned about that. We want to know, is it a good game or not? Let's check it out. At the beginning of the game, you're going to put cards out on the table here equal to the number of players plus 1. So in a 4-player game, you put out 5. But let's take a closer look at each of these cards. Each card has 2 types of terrain on it. And these terrains have symbols on them in case you can't tell which terrain is which. You can at least look at the symbols, because each type of terrain has a matching terrain that goes with it. In this instance, the mountains here, you can see how those match up. You'll have all your symbols going the same way, and in fact, you'll notice that this one here could go on the top, and then that's another type of terrain. Now, the deal here with the terrain is this. These cards here on the top, they are the top. You'll never add a card to the top of something. You can only add cards to the bottom of something. So when it's each player's turn, they're going to have a handful of 6 cards. On your turn, you must take a card from your hand and add it to one of these rows. Now, you don't have to match up the types. You can put it here if you want to. It doesn't matter. Wherever you put it, you are going to add one of your tokens to that row. If there's no token in the row, you put your token at the top. If there was already a token at the top for whatever reason, then you put your token on the card that you played. Unless the token at the top is yours, in which case you do nothing. If you add it to a row that matches the terrain type, then you get to do whatever the card says. So you can see here, if I'm playing the correct cards that are matching the correct types, I can do whatever those cards say. That's pretty cool how it looks, but what do the cards allow me to do? Well, let's take a closer look at them. Here's some sample actions from the game. If I play this one and match it up, I can return any Explorer token from the last land, the bottom card. Or here I can flip over a free land. Basically, that just lets you flip one over, and then that's like that card doesn't even exist there in that row. Here the target player discards 2 cards at random. This one a lot of people like, where you can play an additional land card. Or I can move one of my tokens forward on the road. If he's at the bottom card, he can go up 1. Or swap tokens with someone else. Or there's destroy a land, just completely get rid of it. Or draw 3 cards, which I'm not really sure why that's a great ability, because at the end of your turn, you draw up the 6 anyway. So, you play a card. If it matches, you get to take the special action. But either way, you get to put out your tokens. And so players are going to continue to do this until one player has placed all their tokens. And once one player's tokens are on the board, everyone else gets one final turn and the game ends. Now, scoring is done by the cards that are out here. And you control wherever your token is, all the way down until another player's token is. So let's say a red token is here, white would only control the top 2 cards. If through card play, white got another token here, then in this row, for example, white would control all 6 of these cards all the way down, and red would control these 4. If the red one was here, then white would control the top 3, and red would control the bottom 3. If there was a white one here, white would control these 3, red these 2, and white 1. Okay? So you look at each group of cards you have. For a group of 1 card, that's worth 1 point. A group of 2 cards, 3 points. A group of 3 cards, 6 points. A group of 4 cards, 10 points. A group of 5 cards, 15 points. And 15 is the maximum number of points you can get with any group. You add together all your groups, and whoever has the most points is the winner. Lands Unknown is kind of a very quick sort of game. You're playing the cards. There's not a lot of strategy in the game, more simply tactics. Where are you going to place the pieces each time? Or where are you going to place your card? Now, as I've played the game, it is almost always better to place a card that attaches, that connects so that you get the special ability. But as the game progresses, sometimes you don't really have much option. And other times, it's maybe you want to get as many points. Getting a group of 5 for 15 points is a really big deal, because if I get 4 groups of 2, each of those groups is 3 points each, and that's 12 points, and you got one group of 5, 15. You've done much better than I have. So this game is all about getting those big groups and stopping other people from breaking up your groups. I like the game. The artwork is a little not as useful as it could be. It's kind of beautiful in a sense, but at the same time, it detracts from gameplay a little bit. You kind of cross your eyes looking at the stuff. And because of the way the cards are set up, with a special ability, and you have them in landscapes, you're constantly tilting your head and looking at cards and trying to figure out where's the best place to put things. It's simple. It's easy. It's not a bad game. It's not one that I would be rushing to play, but it does kind of offer this illusion, I suppose, of cerebral thought. Like, ooh, look at that. Oh, I get to play another card, and look at that cool thing I just did. When in reality, it probably is more luck than we like to think. So it looks pretty cool when it's done. It doesn't take very long. We're talking 20 minutes to play, so that's certainly a positive in that regard. If it does slow down at all, it's because people are reading the cards and trying to decide the best course of action. The rules could have been probably a little better written, and even the cards themselves, this front, back, move a token 2 spaces, could have been clarified, I think, better. But for what the game is, it's just kind of a filler, something you'd play between other games.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.